Hey, welcome to Ultimate Survival Tips. I'm David. With more and more survival slingshots and takedown bows on the market, I've been getting an increased number of requests to show you guys how to do your own DIY takedown arrows. So I'm in the workshop today and I'm going to show you how to make your own 2- and 3-piece takedown arrows. Along the way, I'll show you how to avoid some dangerous practices, and I'll share some bonus tips to help you get straight, strong, and accurate arrows that break down small. Stay tuned to the end to learn how to store, protect, and carry your takedown arrows in a bug-out bag, vehicle, or pack. Come on, let's get started. Here's what you'll need to make your takedown arrows. Good quality aluminum or carbon arrows, a tape measure, a fine Sharpie marker, glue. I recommend 5-minute epoxy or arrow adhesive, 1,000 grit sandpaper, one 32 teeth per inch hacksaw blade, a plastic miter box, bowstring wax, a small piece of scrap wood, a pair of leather gloves, a clean dry rag, a few cotton swabs and toothpicks, denatured alcohol, and for the most special part, a few sets of male and female arrow inserts. To start, let's cut the arrow shaft into sections. First, if your arrow has a point on it, take that off. Set it aside. For 2-piece takedown arrows, simply measure the length of the arrow and mark the halfway point with your Sharpie. For 3-piece arrows, divide the total length from tip to nock by 3 and make your cut marks. For this video, we're going to make 3-piece carbon takedown arrows since they're the trickiest to make. But these techniques apply to 2-piece aluminum and carbon arrows as well. Now, the best cheap way that I've found to make square cuts without fraying the carbon fibers on your arrow is to purchase a plastic miter box like this one. Next, you'll need a 32 teeth per inch hacksaw blade. Now, place the arrow in the miter box with your first mark lined up with the perpendicular cutting slots and tight against the inside wall like this. With a glove on your strong hand, grasp the end of the hacksaw blade with the arrow on the blade pointing towards you and with the teeth down. Insert the hacksaw blade in the slots and start cutting back and forth with even strokes and minimal pressure. You don't have to press hard. Let the blade do the work. Now, it's important to get a clean, straight cut. One cut may take 2 or 3 minutes, so be patient. Be especially careful toward the end, since it's easy to rush it and end up pulling some of the carbon fibers off your shaft. If this happens, don't use your arrow. Either attempt a clean cut below the frayed point or throw your arrow away. Now, to minimize the potential of pulling carbon strands off your arrow shaft, you can carefully rotate the shaft, a total of about 1 1/4 rotations as you make your initial cuts. This will score the circumference of the shaft. Then you can continue cutting straight through the arrow to the end. Next, grab your piece of 1,000 grit automotive sandpaper. With sandpaper on a flat surface, square up any imperfections from your cuts and lightly sand the edges. Remove any dust and debris from the outside and inside of the arrow shaft using your rag or a cotton swab with a dab of denatured alcohol on it. Next, let's install the inserts that will hold this arrow together. To construct the safest possible takedown arrows that you can, you're going to need a set of special aluminum inserts for each joint and the proper adhesive to hold them in place. I've done some extensive research and have found only one maker of the special inserts that you need to do this right. They come in packs of 6 pairs for around $20 US at the time of this review. So in one pack, you'll get enough inserts for 6 2-piece or 3 3-piece takedown arrows. I'll put a link in the video description so you can grab some if you want. Now, here's a little warning. There's no shortcuts in making quality takedown arrows, so don't use standard arrow inserts with a threaded 8/32 rod as a connector, as some other YouTube videos and websites teach. 8/32 rod doesn't have the lateral support that's needed near the joint. So arrows made this way may permanently bend in flight or during impact, creating a dangerous situation. Now, to install your inserts, you'll need the right adhesive. I prefer a dab or two of 5-minute epoxy because it gives me some time to set the inserts and some grace if I make a mistake, and I make plenty. I've also used some arrow adhesive, which is basically super glue for arrows. Arrow adhesive is quick and convenient. You just have to work fast, or your insert could set up before you seat it properly, and good carbon arrows aren't cheap. Now, one more warning. Don't use hot glue to install inserts and carbon arrows, since excessive heat could break down the structure of your arrow. So today we're going to use 5-minute epoxy. Okay, now mix a small bit of 5-minute epoxy according to the manufacturer's instructions. Now use a toothpick to carefully spread a generous dab of epoxy on the inside of each cut end of your arrow shaft and around each insert about 1/8 of an inch or 3 millimeters below the cut and insert lip. This should help keep your glue mess to a minimum. Now carefully insert the butt end of the male insert into the feathered section of your arrow and press it fully into place using a scrap piece of wood. Make sure the insert ring is tight against the arrow cut like this. Now take the female end of this insert set, press it into one side of the center section of your arrow. Then press the other female insert into the other side. Follow this by pressing the other male insert into the final section. Your arrow should now look similar to this. Now once the epoxy holding your arrow inserts is fully dry, you can screw your arrow together. Add some bowstring wax to your insert and point threads to help keep your arrow sections from coming loose. Once your arrow is assembled, make sure that you flex it a few times to ensure that there are no weak spots. If you construct multiple takedown arrows, make sure you keep the sections of each arrow together. Using rubber bands works great. Now to store, protect, and carry your 2 or 3-piece takedown arrows, you can use a document tube like this one, or make your own out of PVC, which we'll cover in a future video. Now get out there and have some fun shooting your takedown arrows with your sling bow, long or recurve bow. We've just taken a look at how to construct your own 2 and 3-piece takedown arrows. For your convenience, I've included links to all the gear that I've mentioned in the video description on YouTube. Just click the Show More tab under this video. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And for more gear reviews, survival tips, and survival news, check out ultimatesurvivaltips.com. And while you're there, grab our monthly survival e-mag, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter to get the latest news and be the first to hear about the great gear giveaway contests we have planned. Okay, this is David. I hope to see you on the other side, and remember, be prepared because you never know.